Everything continues to go well for Robinhood right now. They released their November numbers, which we got a little bit of a sneak peek of recently, but they released the full monthly metrics for November. And that's really what gives investors an idea of what's going on throughout the quarter. This will be the last time they release this until fourth quarter results come out. So they typically hold back the last month's results because that's going to give an idea of what the full quarter looks like. But the numbers really look phenomenal. The number of assets under management, the assets that are coming onto the platform, Robinhood is hitting on all cylinders. So I want to go through the details today and exactly why the stock is up nearly 10% in trading on Monday, because these numbers came out over the weekend. So this is really the first time the market has had a chance to react, and investors are very happy with what they're seeing. And as a shareholder, so am I. My name's Travis Hoium. Thanks for watching Asymmetric Investing. Please subscribe here on YouTube for all my content. And thanks to this video sponsor, The Motley Fool. If you go to fool.com/ASYM, they'll give you their top 10 stocks to buy right now. So let's get right to the monthly metrics. This is the dashboard that Robinhood puts out. A couple of things that I want to highlight. First is the funded customers, because this is going to be a better proxy for how popular the service is, not just the assets under custody. This is going to be volatile based on what the market is doing. So obviously when the market's going up, the amount of assets under custody are going to be going up as well. But if you're adding customers and those assets are increasing, that's going to be a real positive. So you can see there's about 400,000 additions for the month. We did find that out in about the last week or so when they had an investor presentation. Some of these numbers were disclosed, but we're now putting it in a little bit better context. So over the past year, 23.3 million customers all the way up to 24.8 million. Net deposits. This is, again, how many people are depositing or how much they're depositing into their Robinhood account. 5.6 billion. That's the best month that the company has had this year, and this has been a great growth year for Robinhood. So 42% annualized growth rate. $47 billion deposited in the past 12 months, just phenomenal trends. And then cash sweep, this is going to be the cash that's being held on the balance sheet. This is where if you have a Robinhood Gold account, you can get a little bit higher interest rate because of this cash sweep. So $25.7 billion of this cash is in gold, and a total of $26.5 billion is being held on behalf of customers. From a trading perspective, also things are going very well. Equity notional volumes, $147 billion, by far the best month of the year. This shouldn't be a huge surprise if you have looked at what kind of stocks are doing well. They're obviously stocks that are going to be traded on Robinhood quite a bit. High volatility stocks, very speculative stocks. So obviously great momentum here. Options contracts, interesting that this is not growing at quite the same rate. Maybe you're getting a little bit more conservative investor. Well, they'll buy a very highly volatile stock, but maybe not quite trade the options in the same level. Crypto notional volumes. This is something that Robinhood has really invested a lot in recently. You can see it's been a huge benefit, $35.2 billion in volumes traded. That was up 529% month over month. So we'll see if that momentum maintains. You can see that March was another really big quarter, but then things really fell back for Robinhood. So don't necessarily think that this is going to maintain at this level, but they are bringing more assets onto the platform so investors can trade more and more crypto related things on their Robinhood app. The margin book, this is where the assets under custody are going to turn into more revenue sources. So they're going to make a little bit of money from things like payment for order flow. Options contracts do have fees involved. And then there's going to be fees related to taking out margin. So that was up to $6.8 billion. Again, more leverage in the system. So something to think about if you're an investor in any of these highly volatile stocks. A lot of these stocks are being bought on margin, but that's how Robinhood makes money. So good for the business long term. Thanks to our friends at The Motley Fool for sponsoring this video. Visit fool.com/ASYM for the top 10 stocks to buy right now. What these trends are going to do is they're going to keep the business growing. Let's just look at the momentum that Robinhood has right now. You can see that revenue has been growing at an outstanding rate, 39% compound annual growth rate, and Robinhood has swung from a net loss to a net profit. There's a couple of things that they're doing here. They're really maintaining their operating costs, so not growing those at a really rapid rate. Remember, that was really one of the challenges that they had during the pandemic. A lot of hiring, a lot of anticipation for future growth. And then when the market turned, that turned into huge losses for Robinhood. So like a lot of technology companies, they've taken a lot of cost out of the business and have a lot more operating leverage. You can see that in this chart, which shows revenue in green and SG&A expenses in blue. Since March 2023, revenue is up 60% and SG&A expenses are down 28%. That's what you're seeing them benefit from right now. The other thing is they have much more gold subscription revenue. I think this is really the thing that caught my eye with Robinhood earlier this year is when they brought out things like the gold credit card. That's a credit card that you can get 3% cash back. That doesn't seem to make sense economically for Robinhood. But when you look at the economics of the gold subscription, where you're paying $5 a month, or I believe it's $50 per year for a subscription, that's revenue and basically 100% margin revenue that Robinhood has coming into the business. Now you have a customer who has an incentive to do more and more on the Robinhood platform. They're getting benefits like the 3% back from a credit card, like a match for your Roth IRA, like a match for putting money just into your account, into your investment account. These are all benefits of the Robinhood platform. So they're basically going to be like a magnet to Robinhood once you get somebody to sign up for gold. And that's exactly what we see. We see that the number of customers going to Robinhood aren't all that big. I believe it was 6% growth in the most recent quarter, but they're bringing more and more assets. And that's ultimately where Robinhood is going to be able to make more money, is when they have more wallet share. That's what management keeps talking about. They don't want to just be your YOLO trading platform. They also want to be the place that you're holding money as a savings account. They want to be the place that you're going to be doing your checking, and they want to be the place that you have your credit card, where you have your retirement account. All of these things are going to be really good for Robinhood long term. And that's exactly the momentum that we see in the business. I think there's a long runway of growth given the fact that this is a platform that is used by much younger investors. That means that those investors are going to move up the career curve, be making more and more money in the future. A lot of them are going to be inheriting money from parents or grandparents. That is going to bring more and more assets onto the platform and fuel all of this growth. So everything that we're talking about having momentum with is going to continue for years and even decades. Now, of course, there's going to be volatility, because if the market does have a pullback, that is going to impact Robinhood's revenue and ability to make a profit. But long term, I think this momentum is just phenomenal for Robinhood. So definitely a stock that I'm happy to own right now. All of the metrics look like they're moving in the right direction. I'm going to keep an eye on this going into 2025, because this is one of my bigger holdings. But given how far and how fast the stock has run, I'm always a little bit worried that the market has maybe gotten a little bit ahead of itself. But right now, I like everything that I see with Robinhood, so I'm definitely not selling. But let me know what you think about Robinhood today. Leave your comments in the comment section below. Don't forget to subscribe to Asymmetric Investing. Thanks for watching, everybody. See you here next time.